Elements and compounds. What's the difference between these two? Hello, my dear students. Welcome to our science class. This is your teacher, Teacher Larry, your science teacher for today. So we are now at our first quarter, module 2 of Science 7. Our lesson for today is all about elements and compounds. But before we start, let us first recall about matter. What is matter? Ano nga ba ang matter? Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass, and it is around us. There are two major classifications of matter. We have the pure substance and mixture. When you say pure substance, it is consists of single type of substance and composed of one type of atom or molecule. So that is pure substance. When you say mixture, it is composed of two or more pure substance or different types of atoms or molecules. Another difference between pure substance and mixture is that pure substance cannot be separated into other substance by physical methods, while mixture, it can be separated into its components by physical method. When you say mixture naman, it has two major categories, which is number one, homogeneous and heterogeneous, which this will be discussed on our next lesson and module. But now we will be focusing on the pure substance, two major categories of pure substance, which is the elements and the compounds. But before we start, let us have first our pre-assessment test. Kindly identify the following pictures, whether it is an element or compound. Number 1, copper. Is it element or compound? Salt. It is element or compound? Table sugar. Is it element or compound? Neon gas. Is it element or compound? Pure water. Is it element or compound? Silver. Is it element or compound? We will be answering those questions at the end of our lesson. Our focus for the day is all about elements and compounds. So what are elements and compounds? What are their difference? What are their properties? And how can we classify elements and compounds? Let us focus first in our elements. When you say element is made up of one type of atom and has unique properties with other atoms. It is also the simplest chemical substance that cannot be broken down by the chemical reaction, because it is now the simplest chemical substance. we can find the 118 elements in the periodic table of elements designed by Dmitry Mendeleev, a Russian chemist. So in the picture above you, and the picture above, it is the periodic table of elements consisting all the 118 elements. Every element is represented by a specific symbol. The most common symbol is derived from the first letter and the two letters of the name. There is very distinctive way in writing chemical symbol. The first letter must be in capital letter and the second letter must be in a small letter. This is the periodic table where you can see the different symbols of our elements. So we have hydrogen for H, we have helium for He, we have lithium for Li, we have beryllium for Be, we have boron for letter B, carbon for letter C, nitrogen for letter N, O for oxygen, F for fluorine, and Ne for neon. And there are almost 118. There are 118 elements in the periodic table. Let's go naman sa compound. Compound is made up of two or more types of elements formed by chemical bonds. Compounds can be broken down by chemical reaction. Compounds can be written using their common names, chemical names, or chemical formula. So, mapag-aralan natin mamaya kung ano yung mga common names, chemical names, and chemical formula. The chemical formula tells which atoms how many of them combine to form a compound. So it is a combination of all of elements so we can form a compound. And halimbawa, compound name, we have table salt. Compound, we have the sodium chloride. Chemical formula is NaCl. The constituent element is sodium and chlorine. Mapagmamasdan ninyo, yung sodium natin, we have the capital letter N and small letter A. In our chlorine, capital letter C and small letter L. So this is now the sodium chloride, NaCl. Another example, we have water. Compound, dihydrogen oxide. Chemical formula, we have the H2O. Can you guess what is the constituent element? Yes, correct. It is a hydrogen and oxygen. Next, we have sugar. Compound is sucrose. Chemical formula, we have the C12, H22, and O11. Can you guess what's the elements? So we have the carbon, hydrogen, and the oxygen. Let us discuss about the properties of elements and compounds. We can differentiate the properties by the use of Venn diagram. The properties of element is made up of one kind of atom. It has a unique physical, chemical, periodic properties which can be divided into metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. So here is our periodic table. The first circle, these are the metals. The violet circles, these are the non-metals, including the hydrogen is a non-metals. And the ladder-like yellow one, these are now the metalloids, which will be discussed in the further module. Also, element has its unique periodic properties, which can be classified in our periodic table. We have the column which we call the family, and the row which we could call the period. So, dito nasasabi na sa periodic table yung pagkakaiba nila sa periodic properties by the column at saka sa row pa lang. So we have the family and period. Let's go sa compound. Compound is made up of two or more types of elements and also can be broken down into simpler substances because nanggaling din sa element. So yung pinag-combine na elements sa compound, we could separate them through a chemical reaction. Now, the similarities, elements and compound is both matter made up of atom, and it is also essential for life. And element and compound can be found in our nature. So this is now our Venn diagram. They are different and meron din silang pagkakaparehas. In summary, elements and compounds are substances classified by number of atoms. Elements is the simplest form of matter, while compound is two or more elements combined by chemical reaction. Before we end, let's have first our assessment. Which of the following statement is correct? Water is an element and nitrogen is compound. Letter B, water is a compound and nitrogen is an element. Letter C, water and nitrogen are both compound. And letter D, water and nitrogens are both element. Write your answer. Okay, the correct answer is letter B. Water is a compound and nitrogen is an element. Number 2. Which of the following makes compound different from elements? Letter A. Compounds are made of molecules. Letter B. Compounds may be solid, liquid, and gas. Letter C. Compounds have properties which make them useful to people. Letter D. Molecules of compounds are composed of two or more kinds of atoms. Write your answers. Okay, the correct answer is letter D. The molecules of compound are composed of two or more kinds of atoms. Number 3. Which of the following can be separated into simpler form only by chemical means? A. Hydrogen. B. Sodium. C. Gold. Or D. Water. Write your answer. The correct answer is water. Number 4. A compound is represented by a chemical formula, while an element is represented by a blank. A. Coefficient, B. Chemical symbol, C. Subscript, and D. Chemical formula. What is your answer? It is letter B. Chemical symbol. Number 5. When a substance is analyzed using an electron microscope, it is found to contain only one type of atom. This substance is an element, a molecule, a mixture, a compound. Write your answer. The correct answer is an element. Now, let us go back to our pre-test kanina. Let us try if tama ba ang mga sagot ninyo. So, we have the element. Copper is an element. Salt is a compound. Table sugar is also compound. Neon gas, the neon, is an element. Pure water is compound. Silver is an element. Thank you and God bless. I hope you have learned a lot in our lesson for today. This is the end of our Quarter 1 Module 2 video lesson. I hope marami kayong natutunan sa ating video lesson. See you sa ating susunod na video lessons. Goodbye!